Welcome to Dad Built. Today, I'll show you how I went from this to this. If you're looking to class up a living space in your home, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you my latest project where I installed a wall treatment in my master bedroom. Sometimes a simple treatment can go a long way, and sometimes a simple treatment isn't so simple. So stick around because I'm going to have lots of tips for you along the way. Okay, here's what I'm starting with. It's a nice but uninspiring space. My wife has been wanting to do something creative with the master bedroom motif since we moved in, and after 15 months of living here, the time was right. I took down all the existing decor and features and moved everything to the center of the room so I could work around it. Now it's time to plan everything out. The treatment my wife had dreamed up involved putting screen molding on the walls. A lot of screen molding. By my measurements, we were going to need about 80 pieces at 9 feet per piece, so it was off to the hardware store. Now this screen molding is sold by the foot, which meant I had to cut 80 pieces by hand in the middle of Home Depot. And to add to that hassle, none of the Home Depots in my area had enough of the molding on hand, so I ended up having to go to 3 different local stores. It was a lot of running around. But once I got the screen molding home, I had to cut it all down to the exact size that I needed. I'm gonna measure for the height of my molding by taking a measurement from the ceiling to the baseboard all the way down this wall in multiple places. That way I can cut all my molding pieces together. And I'm gonna do this by taking the longest measurement that I get, and that way along the way, if I need to make small adjustments, I can do that. Not wanting to relive my experience of cutting all the pieces by hand, I decided to bundle the molding into packs of 15 so that I could cut them all in batches. This is a huge time-saving tip for a project like this. I used painter's tape to hold them all together and only had to make a few cuts. Now I could start hanging the pieces. Tacking this material on the wall was a snap. I used my level and a brad nailer to tack the individual pieces to the wall. The pattern I was using to hang these called for 2 pieces spaced 3.5 inches in between them. Then I would hang the next 2 pieces about 14 inches from the last. This part went quick, and it was fun. I used my level to make sure everything stayed nice and plumb the whole way around. If you've made it with me this far, please give me a like and a subscribe down below. I have so much fun making these videos, and I'm always open to new project ideas or suggestions. Now let's get back to it. For the most part, hanging the screen was pretty uniform all the way around, but there were a few places where I needed to make adjustments. So here's a pointer for a project like this. You're gonna draw it up on paper and it's gonna look perfect. But when it comes to actually putting this stuff up on the wall, you're always gonna run into obstacles that you have to account for. The first one that I hit was this outlet right here. My plan calls for 14.5 inches of space between this piece of molding and this one. But if I follow that, that's gonna put this piece split right down the side of this outlet. And it's really not feasible with this material to try and cut a notch out of that, and I don't even think it would look that good. So I took this piece of molding and I moved it over 1/2 inch so that it sits right on the side of this outlet. That puts 15 inches of space here instead of the 14.5. It's a minor adjustment. You're probably not even gonna see it or notice it. And I do think there's enough space along the rest of this wall that I can make other minor adjustments to account for this 1/2 inch and have everything come out looking good. Now that I've got my molding tacked up on the wall, the next step is very tedious, but it's absolutely critical. I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill all of my nail holes, and I'm also going to caulk all of my seams. By far, the most time-consuming part of this project was patching and caulking. I started by filling the nail holes with lightweight spackling. There were at least 10 holes in every piece, so you're looking at 800 holes to be filled, and I used my finger for this. Then I had to put down 160 lines of caulk at 9 feet each. It worked out to about 4 tubes of caulk in total. My next step is paint. For the wall paint, I used Duration Home Interior Acrylic Latex Paint from Sherwin-Williams. They do a matte finish that I like the best. The color my wife chose was Alabaster. It's an off-white shade. Much like the patching and caulking, painting this room took a lot longer than a normal job. With 80 pieces of molding, the bulk of the work was done with a brush, and I did 3 coats in total. Once everything was done, I could start moving everything back and putting in some new decor. Lots of little details, but they all add up to a big result. And finally, we were done. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and a subscribe down below. I post all kinds of DIY videos for dads, and I'd love it if you joined the crew. I'll see you next time.